Rammstein has released a new record, which was a nice surprise considering band has not been releasing anything for 10 years. Such long pause did not really affect their relevance due to constant touring, I guess, and also due to the specific style of Rammstein that allows them to be on top of any media, any mainstream media after each step they make, which is called controversy. The history of Rammstein consists of a revolutionary rock sound that they've built for themselves, German language music being popularized all around the world, and of course, constant bans of music videos on TV, on internet, and on radio. I think the amount of this sort of controversy that this band has created around its name for provoking music videos, touchy lyrical themes, gave them exactly what they need. A platform for music that is quite big and actually very influential. My favorite Rammstein album is without a doubt Mutter from 2001. I didn't care too much about other albums, excluding some great separate tracks from them that I have enjoyed. So today we will review Rammstein's 2019 album from a perspective of comparing it to the old stuff and seeing if it works in 2019. Because YouTube is being YouTube, I won't actually be able to use any sort of reference material from band's music in this video, so I'm assuming you have already listened to this album or are going to listen to it right after you finish this video. But yeah, just heads up, I'm not gonna be playing any Rammstein music in this video, just for the sake of staying copyright claim free. Nothing criminal here. Great sounding drums complemented with clear tone of guitars and fat bass make a great sounding music with usual for Rammstein vocals on top. Nothing really stands out. Everything is very clear. Everything is pretty well balanced and sounds exactly like something you would expect from an A-list rock band, at least from a technical perspective. It was hard to decipher and analyze this properly due to my lack of German knowledge, but thanks to Google Translate and a bunch of other translated lyrics resources, I was able to get most of the record's themes. This album, in my opinion, is the most thought-provoking and controversial record to date, and it's no surprise considering how sensitive our mainstream media has become. Nevertheless, Rammstein delivers a heavy and realistic view of the world, Germany, society, and so on. There are various interesting themes in this album within the songs regarding immigration, history, society's obsessions with things, constant pursuit of things. Not that any of these themes are new or extremely original for Rammstein, but I think they're, as usual, executed quite well, and it just works. My personal favorite of the record is the song Puppet. The way it's laid out is pretty engaging and tells an interesting story. I am a big fan of storytelling songs, so it's no surprise for me that this song is one of my favorites on the record. Overall, I was not disappointed, but I also wasn't quite impressed. Lyrical content of this record stays on the exact same level for Rammstein, which means high quality level, with a lot of irony, a lot of metaphors, and implicit messages. You wouldn't be surprised if I told you that you most likely won't discover anything mind-blowing genius musically in this album. No? Well, you won't find anything like that. Rammstein are not quite famous for technical, over-the-top, and impressive music style. The style of the songs is pretty simplistic and generally is Rammstein style. Twist here is that it's probably the most appropriate way to write songs for them, considering they are Rammstein, and it works extremely well with the style overall. Classic grooves, riffs are still here, as well as some of the more experimentation with electronics and keyboards. It is also apparent that a lot of songs have influences from other bands, like for example, Riff of Sex reminded me a lot of early 2000s rock era. Rammstein also doesn't really shy away from using same old formula, which we can hear in songs like Tattoo and Auslander, sounding like something from early 2000s Rammstein records. That's the thing about formulas though. They work. As to my favorites, I liked Puppet, It is an interesting story, a very engaging story that reminds me musically a lot of Mutter from 2001's Rammstein record. It is a very, very well delivered story by Till Lindemann in terms of vocals. It's one of the best of his performances I've heard in my life. He's very emotional in this one. Again, not disappointed. I actually expected this whole record to be much worse musically, but also nothing really genius or groundbreaking. So, yeah. Rammstein 2019. It is a very heavy album from lyrical perspective and kind of a still heavy musically. If you look at this record from the style point of view of the band, it makes a lot of sense and works very well. But what saves this record and what makes it stand out of all these decent records is its lyrics, that besides controversy also bring very interesting thoughts and are actually quite important nowadays, it seems like. Also the amount of experiments this band is willing to make to show a progress in the sound. That is something that is worth pointing out the most. It has been 10 years since last Rammstein music, and it would be just not logical for them to release an album in the exact same Rammstein style of 2009 record. So it is nice to see them trying new things and showing clear progress from those years back in the day. I don't see any failures of these experimentations, so as far as I'm concerned, Rammstein 2019 is a decent album with great amount of extraordinary lyrical content and a very, very well written and produced rock album as a whole. So I do recommend it. It's nothing mind-blowing, but it's also pretty good.